Can I just lean in and get real? Right now, there's a lot of barriers to getting into homeownership. One of the biggest ones is saving up for a down payment. And there's a myth out there that you need to have rich parents, or you need to have 6 figures in your savings account, or how about if I need to just win the lottery? That would get me into a home. That myth is keeping far too many first-time home buyers sitting on the sidelines. And personally, I know that right now in this market, strategy beats savings. Why do I know that? Because inventory is high and demand is low and sellers are willing to negotiate. Right now, there's always a way. You just need to know what the strategy is. You need to know how to activate the resources that you have at your disposal. But if you've been sitting on the sidelines saying, I'm ready to buy a home, but I haven't been able to save up enough for the down payment, I want to tell you that you have resources right now that you can access that can help you get in. I want to share 6 of those strategies. And if you know somebody else who's sitting on the sidelines, please share this. We need to make this more available. Home ownership is a game changer to long-term wealth. And do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss these Real Talk strategy sessions. Let's get into the first and probably most obvious, and that's down payment assistance. Now, a lot of people think that's not me, right? For whatever reason, there's a stigma involved. And did you know that you don't even have to be a first-time home buyer in order to get down payment assistance? Which I think is so phenomenal. Plus the fact that they're income limited. But ultimately, those income limits have been increasing year over year. Right now, in my home state of Colorado, Jaffa has an income limit of $163,000. Denver Metro is $195,000. Every state has down payment assistance access. And I have a list of every program and the income limits associated with them. The second one is gifts from family members or friends. I know it takes a lot to ask somebody for help, but ultimately building wealth is a family affair. This is lifting up the entire family, not just you. So asking for help for down payment doesn't mean that you can't. It just means that you can better together. And this is where knowing what you can do and what you can't do is so helpful. So FHA allows you to get gifts from family members, from friends, and even from employers. That's a win for a lot of situations. I've helped a lot of clients who are employees of small businesses that those business owners wanted to see the success of their employees, and they were happy to give a gift. We can do that with FHA. Now, conventional is going to require them to be a family member or a fiance, and that family member can be extended. So it can be an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a sibling, a parent, a child. Number 3 is your 401k. So a lot of people don't think about tapping into this, and you want to look at the entire picture. You want to say, if I'm pulling money out of this and I'm pulling it out of the equities market, is that going to hurt me, and where is that money best suited? So that might even be a conversation with your lender and your financial planner. But the 401k program also has the ability to take a loan. You can take a loan up to 50% of the amount you have vested in that 401k, up to $50,000. And then you'll pay that money back through your paychecks over a 5-year period. That is a phenomenal way to get access to funds, which isn't going to hurt you from a tax perspective. You're going to be paying yourself back with interest, and it does not count against your debt to income ratio. So it'll actually allow you to qualify for more. There's also the ability to do a hardship withdrawal. Now, be a little bit careful on this one. You can do it for first-time home purchases, but you are going to pay taxes on it and you are going to pay penalties on it. So that would be more of a last resort than a first option. Number 4 is selling assets or investments. Now, if you're going to go down this path, just know that a lender is going to need to paper trail it. Super important, because you don't want to show up and the lender goes, where did that $10,000 come from? And you're like, I sold a car. And you're like, okay, can I see the paperwork for that? Well, I got cash for my car. That's going to be a problem. So think ahead. If you're going to sell any kind of assets, whether it's gold, whether it's jewelry, whether it's a vehicle or art even. I had a client who sold art. I've had clients that have sold passed down jewelry. So there are opportunities to sell it, but you're going to need some sort of an appraisal that determines the market value. Then you're going to need some sort of a bill of sale and track of ownership. So we're going to need the entire paper trail to be able to paper source that deposit and use it towards the purchase of a home. Number 5 is side hustles. That second job. Now there's a rule when buying a home that if you're going to use 2 or 3 jobs in order to qualify, that you have to have those multiple jobs for at least 2 years. Now that's in order to use the qualifying income. But if you're using the deposits from that side hustle or that second job, and that's just helping you save up money faster, I don't need to document the length of time of that employment. I just need to document or verify the employment and where that money is coming from. It's to shore up your savings account so you don't put yourself in a position of being house poor. Because remember, and this goes for all of them, not only are you looking at the down payment, you're also looking at closing costs, and then you've got to think about moving and furnishing of the new home. And the last one is seller concessions, especially in a market like the one that we're in right now, where there's a lot of sellers who are willing to negotiate. You want to think about seller concessions before you put the contract offer together. You want to know, where's my most need? Is it with cash at the closing table? Is it with structuring the monthly payment so it fits my budget? Is it maybe asking for a temporary rate buy down paid for by the seller, or maybe covering those closing costs? Or can I go all in as is? Really sitting down with both your lender and your real estate agent and putting together the strategy before you put together the offer. And you might find that the seller is willing to negotiate below list, or you might find that the seller really needs to hit their list price. If that's the case, you'd be surprised to know what little impact it has on your monthly payment to offer over list and then ask for seller concessions. As an example, say you've got your eye on a home that costs $500,000 and you could go in and offer $515,000, making a minimal difference to your monthly payment spread out over 30 years, but get that full $15,000 back to cover both closing costs and maybe even a 1-0 buy down, lowering the monthly payment for the first year that you own that home. Again, strategy beats savings in a market like this. You want to know all of your options. You want to know the 6 strategies that are available to you and how to optimize those. And then also what it means to you in a monthly payment and a cash to close to capitalize on them. Because ultimately, there's always a path. You just need to know which strategy is the right fit for you. Whether it's tapping into family support, maximizing your current 401k, or just choosing the right loan program. You have options. And when you use strategy, you often find the win. Well, my name is Nicole Ruth, and if you'd like to sit down one-on-one, I would love to do that. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.